Brittney Griner is in tears right now, and it's not because of a loss on the scoreboard. Sophie Cunningham just called for a ban on men playing in women's sports, and the internet immediately connected it to Griner, especially after her repeated flagrant fouls against Caitlyn Clark. And now there's talk of a lifetime ban. We're going through exactly what Cunningham said, why the White House backed her, why Griner's situation looks worse by the day, and what exactly Griner said after Cunningham exposes her. Should the WNBA ban Griner for life? Let me know down in the comments below.
I try to give myself grace. Everybody says give yourself grace. It's so hard for me to do that. At the end of the day, it's my fault, and I let everybody down.
Caitlyn Clark is on defense playing close to the player she's guarding, and Griner drops a shoulder right into her chest. No whistle, no flag, nothing. Fans watching at home saw it live and immediately started replaying it, because that kind of contact usually draws a foul call in any other matchup in this league. But when Griner's on the floor with Clark, the whistle seems to disappear right when you need it most.
We have heard nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing.
Brittney Griner elbowing Caitlyn Clark in a crazy way and then calling her a trash white girl.
And Brittney Griner has not commented, which I find significant. I've watched that video countless times, and it sure looks like Brittney Griner says, white girl.
The WNBA should investigate Brittney Griner's seemingly uttering profanities about white girl.
This happened during the Fever's matchup against the Atlanta Dream in the 2025 season, which happened to be Griner's old team before she moved on. Clark had the ball around the free throw line, made her move, and Griner met her with a body check that sent her stumbling backward. Anyone watching courtside could see the contact was late and unnecessary, the kind of hit that gets reviewed and upgraded after the fact in most other games. Except this time, nobody reviewed anything. Play continued like nothing happened, and the broadcast crew moved on to the next possession without so much as a second look. What made it worse is what came from the bench right after. Griner allegedly barked profanities in Clark's direction, and the cameras caught her mouth moving with words that didn't need much guessing. Clips of it spread fast online, with fans zooming in and reading her lips because the broadcast audio conveniently missed whatever she said. The league didn't hand out a fine, didn't issue a statement, didn't do anything that suggested this crossed a line. And for fans who've watched this happen before, that silence from the league office feels like a pattern now, not a coincidence.
Look at this finish. Down low. She's been doing this all year. I am so impressed with her inside game. She gets inside that paint amongst the giants and just destroys people. Caitlyn Clark, another sweet feed. And watch this. They called a timeout, not a foul. Watch her grab Caitlyn Clark's arm clearly. Like, they didn't call this a foul. Look at that. Are you kidding me?
Because this isn't the first time. Go back through the last 3 seasons and you'll find multiple incidents involving Griner and Clark specifically. Hard fouls that never get upgraded, extra contact after the whistle that never gets a technical, words exchanged that never make it into any official report. Clark gets hit, the internet reacts, and the league stays quiet every single time. And then there's the flip side of it. Clark got hit with a technical foul earlier this season for pointing at the scoreboard, a gesture that wasn't aimed at any official and didn't come close to breaking any rule anyone could point to. That call happened in the second quarter, with the Fever up.
It felt like she took some contact there from Griner, doesn't get the call. Working the baseline, it knocked off the underside of the backboard, did a nice job to recover, and bounces inside, pretty fine to move.
This whistle is for a clock issue. Clark still upset after that hit.
Oh, this is what Caitlyn Clark is upset about, the screen set by Griner. Yeah, in a little bit movement with that right.
Clark's technical foul count this season has become its own topic of conversation among fans and analysts. Every new technical adds to a growing file of moments where the whistle seems to find her fast, while contact against her from players like Griner gets waved off completely. Fans online keep asking the same question. Why does the officiating change shape the moment Griner steps on the floor with Clark?
With BG for 6 years, and so I know her like the back of my hand.
On that same vein, in that story with ESPN, you talked about wanting to protect young girls who shouldn't have to go against biological men. Just can you expand your viewpoint on that?
I mean, I think I said what I said. I think it's kind of common sense. And I think I'll always believe in that. I think it's really important to protect children. And that's little girls who are also involved in that category. And so I stand on what I said, and I always believe that.
She didn't give a normal answer. She paused for a second, looked right at the camera, and decided this was the moment to say what she'd been sitting on for a while. The room went quiet fast, because everyone could tell this wasn't going to be about pick and rolls or free throw percentage.
Everyone always is coming at it as a negative. Well, me coming out with that, there's so many people who are coming out with the positive, saying, you know what, finally someone has said something. And I don't really look at either side of those, because I know whatever I say, I'm going to get hate and I'm going to get love. And if I'm going to live by the love, I'm going to die by the hate. And that's just not who I am. I beat to my own drum. And so people are always going to have something to say. You could win the championship. You could be the best at whatever it is. And there's still people who are going to hate on you. And so that's just what this world is. So I'm confident in who I am. I'm proud of who I am. I'm happy being me. And I'm going to continue to be that. When it comes just to protecting young girls in sport and women in sport, I feel very strongly about that. I think that's why you have Title IX. That's why you have some of the greats in women's sports. If Title IX and women's sports weren't protected, then you wouldn't hear about any type of women in sport. And so I think in the future, it's just really important to protect.
The support for Cunningham didn't stay small either. Fans flooded her replies with praise, media figures picked up the clip and ran it on air, and even the White House weighed in with public comments backing her position. That's not the kind of attention a normal post-game answer gets. And it tells you this wasn't just some rogue comment, it hit a nerve that had been sitting there for a while, waiting for someone to press on it. The Fever front office response looked nothing like Cunningham's. Team officials leaned on language about player autonomy and inclusivity, careful not to endorse or condemn what she said directly, which is exactly the kind of answer you'd expect from a franchise trying to avoid a headache. That gap between Cunningham's personal stance and the organization's official line became its own story, with people asking whether the team actually agreed with her or just didn't want the fight.
I don't dislike anyone. I think there is room for absolutely everyone here, and I think there's room to love everyone. And I truly think when you get people in the same room and you have conversations, you actually have a lot in common with a lot of people. And so I'm there to love, but I'm also there to love biological women. And I think that there are rights that need to be protected. And like I said, I'm going to stand true to that. I'll never falter in my beliefs in that, but I have never once said I hated the trans community. Like I said, I think there's space for everyone.
Clark didn't add fuel to that fire. She and the rest of the locker room stayed public and united, brushing off any talk of division inside the team despite the political heat swirling around Cunningham's comments. Boston, Mitchell, Hull, all of them kept the focus on basketball, which honestly made Cunningham's stand look even bigger by comparison, because she was the one willing to step outside that comfort zone. What she actually said about biological men, about love and truth, about Title IX being under threat, spread across every platform within days and turned into one of the most talked about athlete statements of the year. And once people finished reacting to the general point, they didn't stop there. The internet started asking who exactly she was talking about, and it didn't take long before one name kept coming up over and over again.
This is not about being anti-anything. This is about being pro-girls, pro-females, pro-women, pro-ladies. That's what this is about. You can't be a male, born a male, transitioning to female, and think that you should have the right to compete with women.
Why does Griner's situation get talked about differently than every other player in this league? Fans have whispered this question for years now, and it never fully goes away. It just quiets down for a while and then comes roaring back. The second Griner's name pops up in the news again. This isn't a new conversation. It's one that started years back and keeps resurfacing on a loop, like clockwork, every single time.
Brittney Griner, who I can't stand, sad that she's a Baylor grad.
Yeah,
she called her a trash, expletive white girl. That was the lip reading. Yes, trash, white girl. trash. Blanking white girl.
Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man.
Go back to Griner's detention overseas, and you'll find the claim that started a lot of this. Reports at the time mentioned Griner allegedly being held in a facility for men during part of her detention, and that detail spread fast once people caught wind of it. Most folks read past it without a second thought, but a chunk of the internet did not let it go, and that one detail became the seed for everything that followed. Once that claim hit forums and group chats, people started picking it apart piece by piece, treating it like a thread that might unravel something bigger if you pulled hard enough. Threads popped up asking why that detail was even reported that way in the first place, and whether it lined up with how detention facilities are actually supposed to work. Nobody official ever clarified it in a way that satisfied the people asking, and when questions don't get clean answers, the internet fills the silence with its own theories.
We gotta stop this. We gotta stop acting like somebody that's speaking up on behalf of girls, like a Sophie Cunningham, like a Riley Gaines, are scourges of the earth. You are Cheryl Reeve, the head coach of the Minnesota Lynx. That is an irresponsible thing to do. You are a coach for a female basketball team. Do you not think that the females are being screwed over if they have to compete against an individual born as a male?
Then came the videos. Clips of Griner topless in public settings made their way around social media, and what stood out to people wasn't just the content, it was that the platforms hosting it didn't touch it. Normally, content like that gets flagged or pulled down fast, no matter who's in it. But these clips stayed up far longer than anyone expected, and that inconsistency got noticed by a lot of accounts that track this stuff closely. So is that a coincidence? Is that just inconsistent moderation on platforms that get it wrong all the time anyway? Or is it something people believe points to Griner's personal circumstance being different from what's been reported publicly? Nobody's answering that directly, and that's exactly why the question refuses to die down. It just sits there unanswered, waiting for the next headline to drag it back up again.
Flag you, Brittney. Let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you. Get the hell out of here, yo. Yo. Jab stepping, it's the brick. Swing and a miss.
Oh!
Yo, I ain't gonna fake it right now.
That this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram.
Nobody says it straight out. Fans use phrases like Griner's identity, Griner's gender, questions that never get a straight answer, phrasing that lets people talk around something without ever having to spell it out. That kind of language spreads because it lets people ask the question without saying the quiet part directly. And once one account starts using it, it spreads fast across replies and comment sections. And that's exactly where Cunningham's comments landed. She never said Griner's name. Not once, not in the press conference, and not in any follow-up.
When it comes to Instagram, they use a combination of like AI detection and plus manual surveyors, but specifically the AI detection to make sure that no explicit content ends up on the platform. So clearly whatever AI detection system was used when Brittney posted this and it stayed up for 106 weeks was not like, oh, this is a bare female chest, we have to take this down. It obviously assumed that Brittney was male.
So many fans are convinced Cunningham was aiming right at Griner when she talked about biological men and protecting women's sports. And once that connection took hold online, the conversation moved fast toward what happens to Griner next, and whether her career survives what's coming. The image going around online right now shows Griner reportedly breaking down, overwhelmed by what might be coming for her career. Nobody's confirmed every detail of it, but the story spread fast across fan pages and forums, and it landed right in the middle of a week where Cunningham couldn't stop getting praised. That contrast alone is why this moment feels bigger than any single foul or post-game quote ever could.
I don't think I really gotten through all the way that I didn't let down, everybody in my family. And it was just, I think I'm still trying to get through that part.
Still to this day?
try to give myself grace. Everybody says give yourself grace. It's so hard for me to do that. At the end of the day, it's my fault, and I let everybody down.
A lifetime ban isn't just a suspension with an expiration date, it's the end of everything. Her contract would get voided, her name would come off the roster for good, and whatever legacy she built over the years would carry that ban attached to it forever. No more paychecks, no more endorsements tied to the league, no path back onto the floor no matter how much time passes. That's the weight sitting behind this story, and it's why insiders aren't treating the rumor like some throwaway headline. The Clark specifically checks a lot of those boxes already. The body checks, the words from the bench, the incidents that never got flagged in real time but got reviewed after the fact once the footage made the rounds online.
You trying to tell me that a college player for the men's at a college program anywhere in the country or an NBA player should transition to being a woman and be allowed to compete in the WNBA?
Cunningham spent the same week doing press tours, sitting for interviews, getting applause from crowds who wanted to hear her say it again. Griner, according to the reports circulating now, spent that same week reportedly that started circulating details within hours of the ban conversation heating up, and it spread across social media almost as fast as Cunningham's original comments did. People shared it, argued about whether it was even true, and kept sharing it anyway because the timing lined up with everything else happening around Griner that week. Past controversies involving Griner came and went without this kind of heat behind them, but something about this one stuck. The public mood shifted hard against her this time, and it's not hard to see why, given the stacked list of incidents against Clark's.
If you're a male and transition into female, you should be playing against the women. Nobody said you can't transition from male to female. The issue here is competing against the women. That's what Sophie Cunningham was talking about. That's what Riley Gaines is talking about. How are you, Coach Cheryl Reeve, and you could condone that?
Clark, through all of this, hasn't said much publicly and hasn't needed to. She's still putting up MVP numbers every night, still running the Fever offense like none of this noise touches her game at all. And that composure is exactly what fans point to when they talk about why she's earned this level of support. Fever fans online have made their feelings clear, celebrating Cunningham's stand while demanding the league actually follow through on real consequences against Griner, instead of another quiet fine. The ban talk making the rounds right now isn't just fan speculation either. Insiders close to league discipline hearings are treating it as a real possibility on the table. And if that ban lands, it changes everything about how the Fever walk into the 2026 season. Cunningham said what a lot of players were thinking, and she didn't flinch once the heat showed up. Griner's pattern against Clark finally caught up with her, and the league can't keep looking away forever. Clark just keeps playing, chasing MVP, running the offense like none of this touches her game at all. Should the WNBA ban Griner for life? Let me know down in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications as we're bringing you all the action and top stories. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.